Abraham never existed. You got a Bible, brother? What version you got there, man? King James. Go on, brother. If you will, turn to Galatians. The 4th chapter of Galatians. Usually when I read this, those who are Christians say, I want to see that in my Bible. Okay, so he has his Bible, Galatians the 4th chapter, verse 22. What does it say, please? Nice and loud.
For it is written that...
Stop right there. Stop. Slow down. Slow down. Notice what it says. It says, it is written. It didn't say it's true.
That's right.
It says, for it is written.
That's what it said.
What else, brother? That
It is written that Abraham had 2 sons.
Abraham had 2 sons. Now, I don't know how many of y'all know this story out of the biblical text. Abraham had a son. His oldest son, according to the biblical text, was Ishmael. All right? Who was the son of the Egyptian woman Hagar. Right? And then he had another son 14 years later whose name was Isaac. All right? Who was the son of his so-called wife Sarah. Okay? And that is, how is it Abraham, who we've been taught was a Hebrew, other by a free woman, which was Sarah, right? Go ahead.
But he who...
What is the first few words in the 24th verse, brother?
Which things are an allegory.
Thank you. In case y'all didn't hear it. It said, which things are an allegory. In case y'all don't know what an allegory is, an allegory means it's not a true story. It's not a real event. It's a story that was made up. It was an illustration that was created to make a point. In other words, according to their own Bible, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, Hagar, Sarah, it's all an allegory. It never happened historically. Now, if Abraham never historically lived, then that means Isaac wasn't real.
Right.
If Isaac wasn't real, Jacob wasn't real.
That's right.
And if Jacob wasn't real, let's run up the line.
That's right. That's right.
The so-called tribes of Israel wasn't real.
That's right.
The line from the tribe of Judah wasn't real.
Right.
It's all allegory. Now, I didn't put that in that book. You don't like it? Take it out. Tear your page off. I don't care. They ain't gonna change it. It's an allegory. Every culture got their stories.
There was no Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There was no Abraham. Abraham, the Jewish reference works will tell you, was Abram. 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 Ab, A-B, in the ancient Hebrew meant father, and Ram was the ram, Aries the ram. He was your father for 2,000 years. He was your father. Abram. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is nothing more than the triune God. And the triune God is nothing more than the sun in the rising, the sun at 12 noon, and the sun in the evening. The newborn, the full-grown, and the man that dies. The triune God. And that's why it's still the sun. It's the sun in the morning, it's the sun at high noon, and it's the sun at night. So it's still the same God. It's 3 persons in one God. Yeah, the one God is the sun, and there's 3 points in his life. So consequently, this is a fascinating material when you start talking to the rabbis and doing the research and you find out, my God, how long have you known this? You know, have you known this all your life? Yeah. And I said to him, why don't you tell other people this? And fascinating stuff. And he said, look, what do you want me to do? I got to go out and get a job? Come on. You know, if I tell people what the real truth is, I mean, I'm not going to be a rabbi very long.
Studied Godfrey Hickens' book, but I mean also Jerome Massey's work, and my goodness, just tons of other great reference works. And then when you discover, as anyone can if you just do some research into the religions of the world, you'll discover that there was no Abraham. He never existed. Well, the old Abrahamic religion is actually, what we call Abrahamic religion is actually Hindu. It's Brahmin. Brahmin religion gives us Abraham, or Abraham. Abram